Texans versus Bills live updates, score, stats for Thursday Night Football. It's the last Thursday before Thanksgiving, which means now is a great time to call up your mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, or great-grandparent for the recipes and hit the grocery store to pick up all of the ingredients. It's also a great time to watch some football. The Houston Texans will host the Buffalo Bills in the last Thursday Night Football game before next week's national holiday. It's also the second straight season in which Houston hosts the Bills. Last year, the Texans took the win on a 59-yard game-winning field goal as time expired. Both teams are coming off wins in Week 11 as they enter a primetime matchup that could have some playoff implications. Buffalo hold the AFC's number 1 wildcard spot, and Houston is just outside of the postseason bubble. Notably, the Texans are still without starting quarterback C.J. Stroud, who remains in the league's concussion protocol for another week. Backup Davis Mills is making his third straight start. USA Today Sports will be providing live updates on score changes, highlights, and notable injuries, should they happen, throughout the evening on November 20th. Here's the latest news out of Texans versus Bills on Thursday Night Football. Kalen Bullock intercepts Josh Allen on first play of Bills' drive. On their first defensive snap after taking their first lead, the Texans forced Allen into an interception. Azeez Al-Shaair was able to tip a pass, and Bullock, a safety, was able to grab it and initially returned it for a touchdown. However, an illegal blindside block against the Texans wiped out the score. Still, the team will get the ball immediately in field goal range, leading 10-9 with time winding down in the first half. Texans versus Bills score. Davis Mills finds Christian Kirk for 2-yard touchdown to give Texans first lead. The Texans capped off a 12-play, 77-yard drive with a short pass from Mills to Kirk, as play action allowed the veteran receiver to get open in the end zone. Ka'imi Fairbairn made the extra point to give Houston its first lead of the day at 10-9. Houston's scoring drive was once again set up by some strong runs from Woody Marks and Nick Chubb, who have now combined for 62 yards on 11 carries in the opening frame. 5 total players have carried the ball for the Texans. Davis Mills, Jalen Noel, and Xavier Hutchinson all have 1 carry. Texans convert 4th, and 1 with strong run from Woody Marks. Both teams have now converted a 4th and short early in Thursday's game. The Texans were able to do so with Marks, who ran through slot cornerback Taron Johnson in the backfield and across the line to give Houston a fresh set of downs. Texans versus Bills score. Matt Prater makes 44-yard field goal to extend Bills' lead. Prater missed an extra point earlier in the game, but he was able to make a 44-yard field goal after the Bills stalled out on their third drive. Buffalo did well to convert a 4th, and 2 on a pass from Josh Allen to Ty Johnson to get the team into field goal range. However, Will Anderson and Houston's defensive line finally got some pressure on Allen, forcing him into a costly sack that set up the field goal. The Bills are now leading 9-3, with 9:35 left in the second quarter. Bills leading 6-3 after first quarter of Thursday Night Football. The Bills have moved the ball well on the Texans' top-ranked defense, outgaining Houston 116-64 over the first 15 minutes and being bolstered by a 45-yard James Cook touchdown run. The Texans have been able to run the ball with Woody Marks, 6 carries, 38 yards, and Nick Chubb, 3 carries, 16 yards, but they have struggled through the air. Davis Mills has completed just 1 of 8 passes for 10 yards to open the game. Josh Allen injury update. Bills QB returns to field after suffering apparent injury. Allen appeared to get hurt at the end of Buffalo's second drive. However, his injury wasn't serious, as he was able to return to the field for the first snap of the team's third drive. Amazon's sideline reporter Kaylee Hartung reported Allen had the Bills' training staff work on his left elbow for what looked like the equivalent of turf burn. Texans versus Bills score. Ka'imi Fairbairn makes 24-yard field goal to cut into Buffalo lead. The Texans' second drive was much better than their first, as Woody Marks and Nick Chubb were able to run the ball well against the Bills' porous run defense. However, the Texans couldn't convert their 54-yard drive into a touchdown, as Christian Kirk couldn't haul in a well-thrown pass from Davis Mills on 3rd and goal. Houston trotted Fairbairn onto the field to attempt the 24-yard chip shot. As a result, the veteran kicker made the kick with ease, cutting Buffalo's lead to 6-3 with 4:32 left in the first quarter. Texans versus Bills score. James Cook rips off 45-yard touchdown run. The Bills were facing a 3rd and inches from the Texans' 45-yard line when fullback Reggie Gilliam sprung Cook with a great block on linebacker Azeez Al-Shaair. Cook was able to hit the hole and build up to speed quickly, outrunning Houston's defense to get the Bills on the board with an early touchdown. Matt Prater's extra point, however, was no good, so the Bills' early lead will be 6-0. Josh Allen leaps for first down on 4th and 1 carry. The Bills decided to go for it on 4th and 1 on their opening drive from deep in their own territory. Josh Allen, who is listed at 6'5", 237 pounds, was able to leap over the defense with ease, and a shove from fullback Reggie Gilliam allowed the Bills to easily keep their drive alive.